G'day Success Council members, Max right here, and I got a very cool video for you today. We have a very cool announcement I think you're going to love. We're going to take a look at a whole bunch of markets today. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Apple, Dow Jones, gold, silver. We're going to look at everything because we had red days and almost everything. So we're going to have a look at that kind of exactly as I predicted. Has it finished? Or is there more to go? We're going to try and answer that question. And then this is your opportunity, members, to ask questions. So this video is unlisted. You'll see just below this video over that side. You'll say unlisted because this is not open to YouTube. This is for Success Council members only. So let's start with the big announcement. I hinted at this a little while back, and I can confirm I'm going to go ahead and make my cryptocurrency trading course. So I want to set some expectations about that. It's probably going to take me a month or two to produce all the videos. I think I'll probably release the videos little bit by little bit as I make them, as opposed to release them all at once at the end. And so just be aware that you will start seeing new videos come into the Success Council members area. Now, again, a little bit of an understanding. I want you to know what's going on here. I traditionally, I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term investor. I wait for a whole asset class to be undervalued, in my opinion. I'll jump into that, ride it out till its potential, and then maybe jump into another asset class when it's undervalued and it's overvalued and things like that. So I'm doing a little bit, so I'm going to get into trading. Now, I do not day trade. I'm not going into day trading, and I don't recommend this for people who are trying to make like a full-time living. I'm going to quit my job and do this. This is while you keep your job, spending 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day tops on learning this stuff and then implementing. Once you get up and running, you can do it in like 15 minutes a day. And then you're just looking for those massively undervalued opportunities, jump into them for a little while, maybe weeks, months, or even 6 months, maybe even a year, and just multiply your cryptocurrency earnings. So that's what you should have as an expectation. Don't think you're going to learn to become a day trader and like quit your job. It's not. It's a way to grow your wealth while you continue to make money doing whatever it is you do to make money. So super exciting. Now this course, this is the type of course that once produced, it's going to be, I might even sell it independently. It'll probably be sold for around $2,000 to $5,000. If you're a Success Council member as of September 4th, 2020, you are going to get grandfathered into this. You will get it for free. And probably until the course is finally finished, that's when I might start charging extra for it. So if you're a member now or going to be a member anytime in the next couple of months, you're going to get that course for free. So that is super exciting. I know a lot of people have wanted that. I've been having really good results with what I've been doing. So I'm going to share all those with you, the techniques I use. And it is super simple. Once you learn the parameters and set the parameters the way I show it, it's pretty much just 15 minutes a day. It's like yes or no, yes or no. And again, to set expectations, the vast majority of the time, the answer is no, I'm not doing anything today. Maybe across 30 or 40 cryptocurrency pairs, I might only end up making 10, 20, maybe 30 trades over an entire year. So that's the type of course I'm talking about, but seeing really good results and multiplying the amount of Satoshis you get in your hands. So let's kick on now and jump into this screen. Where, by the way, go ahead, you surely have subscribed by now. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. That's an absolute must. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So I was predicting that everything was going to get smashed soon. And so we'll just go through this quickly. We'll have, let's just take, this is the Bitcoin chart. And over the course of 2 days here, oh, why didn't that work? Yeah, my computer's just being slow. Patience, Max. No. Come on, computer, be faster. Yeah, there you are. And about 14% price drop in Bitcoin. Let's kick over to Ethereum. Ethereum got hit pretty hard. And can we do that here, down to here? And about 21% drop in Ethereum. I can keep going. Let's see what else. We got Apple got crunched. What did Apple go down? It's only a relatively small percentage. Stock markets always do smaller pullbacks. Oh, wow. 15% in Apple. I mean, given Apple's insane rise the last little bit, that's not too big a dip at all. But yeah, let's see, the Dow Jones, I won't bother doing the measures anymore. But yeah, Dow Jones got hit. This will be the only one that did not get hit. This is the dollar. This is the measure of the dollar's strength. When everything else gets weak, the dollar gets strong because the amount of other stuff you can buy with a dollar went up because the price of everything else went down. So the dollar's had 3 green days after a long time back, and this is a necessary correction. We'll take a look at gold real fast. Yep, we got 3 days of red here. Oh, and it broke a significant trend line, which I've drawn previously. And let's just take a look here at silver. Silver trend line not broken, but 3 red days. So every single thing gets smashed. So what we're seeing here is an important concept to understand. You're seeing a massive market correlation. Once upon a time, Bitcoin was like a contrarian indicator. It would go in an opposite direction than everything else. We're seeing now that all the asset classes are going together. What does that mean? Here's what it means. The Federal Reserve and the shenanigans that they're doing have become the most important economic factor out there. When they do something, everything else reacts. And if they don't do something or do something or undo something, everything else reacts. It is the biggest player in the game, as it should be. Think about this. We don't live in a barter society anymore. I don't trade you a fry pan for a potato. Now, every single transaction, 1/2 of the transaction is cash. You trade something for cash. Cash, US dollars, for the vast majority of the globe, is 1/2 of every single transaction in the economy, right? It's very, very important to understand. It is half of the economy, right? People say we live in a free society, a capitalist society. Compared to the other countries, yes, America is pretty free, I would argue. All right, but still, 1/2 of every transaction is US dollars. The price of US dollars, that is the interest rate, and the quantity of US dollars, that is the money supply, are both things set by a committee of wise men at the Federal Reserve. The interest rate's on a lever, they can push interest rates up. They have a meeting once a month and decide what the interest rate's going to be. There's nothing free market about that. The amount of money in supply, they decide how much money they print that month. There's nothing free market about it whatsoever. So on the spectrum of pure laissez-faire capitalism to absolute communism, centrally planned, every aspect of the economy is centrally planned, when the dollar is the main metrics, the quantity and price of the dollar is set by bureaucrats, you are past 50% on that spectrum. 50% of the economy is created, the conditions are set by wise men, by central planners, right? On the spectrum of laissez-faire, 0% government, 100% free market economics, an absolute state-run economy, you are past 50% when you do not have free market money. Then you add into the fact that government's taken over healthcare, education, and a whole bunch of other, the welfare, all the other things, and we are so far from a free market, it's not funny. Using economic principles to try and decipher what's going on here in the economy is just not a useful strategy. Those days are gone. It's too hard to see. Now, everything reverts back to economics in the end. But we are decades into a system where those things have been broken. Now, I think we're going to get back there at some point, but when is that going to happen? Are we close to it? I think we're pretty darn close to it, but times will tell. Why do I think we're super close to it? 2008 was just a huge shockwave. The system almost completely broke down, but they managed to stitch it together. What did they do? They dropped interest rates significantly and printed a bunch of money. Now let's see what they did and by how much they did it. They dropped interest rates from, I think it was this is the cash rate of the Fed, something along the lines. They typically drop at about 3%, which is what they did. And in Europe, they did the same thing. So let's just say in the States, they went from about 5% cash rate at the Fed, and 2008 hits, they dropped the interest rates down to 2%, right? They typically go down by 3%. And then in the good times, they try and build it back up so that they can go back down. Now the system was so broken, they went down to 2% and they never got up past 3%. They got up to 3% and the economy tanked again. Now you might think that it was the coronavirus that tanked the economy. Certainly it was absolutely devastating. It was the bubble always finds a pin that pricks it. It found the coronavirus. Arguably it found some other things just before, and we were in the early stages of that pullback, that crash, if you will, in Q4 of 2019. But nonetheless, we're definitely in it now. And so those first shock waves happened, okay? So I lost my train of thought. Where do we go from there? Central planning and, So they pulled, the interest rates went down, this is 2008, interest rates went down by 3%. They tried to build up the interest rates up again, they only got to 3%. Coronavirus hits, bubble pops, they had to drop interest rates down another 3%, taking them all the way down to 0 in the States. In Europe, they've gone negative. Okay, what does all this mean? It means we're in an unsustainable trajectory. You can't go negative. I wouldn't have imagined you could go negative, but apparently you can go negative. But you can't go too far negative. At some point, the system breaks, all hell breaks loose, and all of a sudden, all these things are ignored. The people run away from anything that government has got its hands on because people realize they have the reverse Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to dust, and you just have to go black market, do your own thing, and real economics comes through. Eventually, and maybe gold is used as money, maybe cryptocurrency is used as money, but anything that government's got its hands on, not used as money. So that is where we are headed. We kind of know all that. I think you guys know all that. If you've been through the Success Council's content, you kind of get all that. So what we're going to see now, but to bring it back to a larger point, the US dollar is the whale. I've used this analogy before. Let me know if you've heard it. But in the last 10 years, right, between 2008 and 2020, the last 12 years, let's say, is it like, what should you be? Should you be in real estate? Should you be in cryptocurrency? Should you be in this? Everything's going up. The question is, what's going up faster? The analogy I used is you've got this huge whale swimming in the ocean, and you've got all these little fish like, who feed off of it, who eat the debris coming out of the whale's mouth or something along those lines. And you've got all these little fish, and we're debating about which little fish is going to go better. Is it real estate going to go better? Is cryptocurrency going to go better? Is this going to go better? And we're debating about all these little fish. And for those 12 years, the dollar, which is the whale, just stood there doing its thing and just slowly did its thing, and nothing really major happened to the whale. But when the whale has this massive shift and changes depth, then all the little fish have to go with it. And if the whale's doing well, all the little fish go with it. It's very important that you understand the US dollar is the whale. When you see all the markets go in one direction, something's happening to the dollar. In this particular instance, it's strengthened for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. We're devoid of market economics at this point. It's some decision got leaked at the Federal Reserve. That's what's happening right now, and the markets all react. So what's going to happen when this dollar dies? The fish dies, sorry, the whale dies, all the little fish go with it. And this is exactly what I was predicting. I said, using my conspiracy predictions even more so than my economic predictions, because my economic predictions aren't that useful anymore because we don't have economics in this world anymore, right? So using my conspiracy theory predictions, I was predicting a rather big market hit that was going to affect the whale and therefore all the little fish sometime before the election. So now let's get to the question of, is this pullback a nice little pullback to go and buy a Bitcoin, or is there more to go? And the same true of any of the markets. My feeling is that this is not the big one. There is still another big hit that affects all of the asset classes. Now, what's my certainty level on this? I'd say 70 or 80%. What does that mean to you? Well, it means this. If you don't have if you're in all cash right now, then probably things are going to turn out a little better. You're waiting for things to get hit hard. You can come in, scoop up all the bargains, start buying stuff like Bitcoin and other stuff. Okay, cool. But what if I'm wrong? What if that 20% scenario happens and this is the bottom and cryptocurrencies take off to the moon? Now you've got nothing, right? So if you're in that situation, I would be very scared that I would be missing out on the huge upside of what's going to happen over the next year or two, because I think the cryptocurrencies and other things are going to go really, really high, really fast. That's gold, that's silver, that's cryptocurrencies, etc. If I was all in cash, I would be very concerned about missing out, and I would probably get in. I would take this dip as a buying opportunity, jump into some asset class that I thought was going to go well. If it's me, it's gold, silver, it's Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. If for you, you've got to make your own decisions. If I have a huge exposure to Bitcoin, am I buying Bitcoin right now on this dip? No, I'm not, because I think we're going to go down further. So it depends on what your situation is, what I would do if I were you. I certainly wouldn't tell you what to do, but it depends on what my position is as to whether or not I would be buying cryptocurrency. I hope that makes a lot of sense, and it's one of the most common questions I get asked. So we're going to leave this video here, but remember, this is your chance to ask questions. So below this video, go ahead and ask questions, please. And I will answer them in 3 days on Monday. So make sure you got your questions asked by then. Anything to do with the content of this video, anything to do with the content in the Success Council members area, anything to do with kind of strategy, Max, what would you do if? But do me a favor, keep your questions short. It's when I have a video to do and I've got to read like 7 paragraphs to get to your question, please, yeah, just very, very short. It's like 1 or 2 sentences. And give me a whole long description about what your particular circumstances isn't that helpful. I can't give you specific advice, and it depends on the tax consequences of your current country, and it depends on a whole bunch of things. I can't give that advice. So don't waterboard me with details. Just ask very high level questions about what you're thinking and having trouble with, and I will do my very, very best to answer those. So guys, thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you in 3 days. Take care.